Wicked Good Season 3, Episode 01, Tommy Chong CVD, Blue Chew, advertises for today's episode, wickedgood.xyz, wickedgood.xyz. There's an advertisers tab. Use those links, otherwise they don't make money. Also, there's other platforms on there, so if you want to listen, watch, do whatever you want, there you go. I am now every episode going to do on YouTube. If you're watching this, you can scroll along the bar. Also, if you're doing audio, you can see the timestamps. So I'll have timestamps for every topic or whatever. If you want to skip around, there you go. I only released 2 out of contexts, so you only get 2 of that. So if you want to just skip around, go ahead. I don't care. That's basically it. No guests today, just me. Next couple episodes probably going to be guests. Well, hopefully, if scheduling works out correctly and no one bails. So, guests going forward basically for the rest of the season. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Alright, that's it for intro. Fuck all this shit. Great start to an episode, obviously. I was going to run through every single, or tease, I guess I'll do it. Teasing everyone, we have topics, every topic that I'm going to run through. We have the small island that owns the .tv extension. So instead of .com, .tv, there's one little small island nation that literally runs all of it, basically. Runs every .tv domain. North Face lawsuit. China has officially signed, or China's largest, I shouldn't just say that, but China's largest music distributor has signed a virtual artist, finally. DeepMind has completely mapped human proteins. First time ever that we've had a full mapping of the human protein. The government, I gotta stop saying government is creating a list of every person from top social media websites that are doing domestic quote-unquote terrorism. Also, a priest got fucked by Grindr. Pretty sure I said that within less than 30, or after the 30 seconds of the bot hopefully listening really well to this. So that won't be a problem. But the priest getting fucked by Grindr, was going to put it at the top, but couldn't do that because it is pretty heavy and scary. Usually I like putting in the hack stuff, or quote-unquote hack stuff at the beginning, but not this episode. This episode we're going to start with the small island that literally owns the domain for .tv. Main gripe I think I have with any of this stuff is I don't know if it really matters if they just switch to .com. Like, I don't know if that many people are going to be like, oh no, Twitch.tv is not going to be Twitch.tv anymore. I just have to put .com at the end of it. And most of the time, most browsers are probably just going to autocorrect to that anyways. I don't know how much leverage this small state, or this small state, not owned by the U.S., small country has. It's literally an island with like 11, there's not that many people living on the island. It's 2001 is when it actually started. I do have a good article from a guy who supposedly, obviously I can't do any background knowledge, I don't give a shit enough about that. But this guy who wrote this article supposedly is a descendant from people from the place. But it's called Tuvalu, I should be saying, Tuvalu. My wonderful dyslexia is helping very good, but I'm going to start reading some of this, as always, the podcast where I just read articles basically, then annotate them with my own thoughts. All of this bodes well for Tuvalu, one of the smallest and most remote countries on the planet. Jesus Christ. The Coral Atoll Nation is only 26 kilometers. I'm now realizing that us American freedom measurements are not going to work with that, so fuck that shit. There's only 11,000 people that live there. Good point. Its main industry is selling its fishing license to offshore trawlers and exporting dried coconut meat. Obviously it can no longer sustain its economy, because I don't know how that's going to do much. Basically licensing out, if you don't understand this, licensing out your fishing rights. Every country gets, I think it's 200 miles or whatever kilometers is, freedom units here in America, in freedom land. 200 miles off of the coast of your country, you own the rights to fish and do things in those ocean areas. So you can then license out parcels to that, obviously, to other fishing companies. Tuvalu's economic future may lie in its two-letter domain suffix .tv. Obviously, twitch.tv. We have caffeine.tv. In this article, I also talk about a lot of other companies that use .tv. As I said earlier, don't know how much of a problem it would really be for people to change over to .com. I'll also talk about it later on because there's another article that talks about how, whatever. This random assignment of letters of the internet is a modern-day equivalent to striking oil. For Tuvalu, the domain name is akin to a natural resource. Now, it is pretty true, obviously. 1995, the Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers, ICANN, as the IT people call it, assigned Tuvalu the .tv domain suffix, one of the many country code domain suffix assigned at the time. 5 years later, Tuvalu negotiated a contract to lease .tv for $50 million in royalties to Jackson Champnick, a Canadian entrepreneur and investor. Over a 12-year period, great grammar with the commas, fuck. The current deal signed in 2011 leases the .tv suffix to VeriSign, a Virginia-based domain name and internet infrastructure provider. In 2021, Tuvalu's agreement with VeriSign will expire. It's December 31st, 2021. Remember that name, December 1st, 2021. Revenues from the original contract helped to pave the country's 8 kilometers of road. Tuvalu has an opportunity to leverage the .tv domain not only to generate wealth, but also to bring a base level of connectivity to Tuvaluans. I have no idea if I've been pronouncing this country correct at all. I tried to use Google. That I don't believe any of that crap anyway. So there you go, pronouncing Tuvaluans that way, who are currently offline. There's a story often shared in the startup world during the California gold rush. It wasn't the miners who earned the most money, correct, but it was the people who sold picks and shovels, correct. So people, obviously you need picks and shovels to do it. Same thing with the railroads, the original railroads. People weren't building the train cars. They were building the rails built to run the rails for trains. Great use of a metaphor. Fuck myself. Tuvalu, when renewing its .tv deal, must monitor the picks and shovels, in this case, the startups and established companies that are profiting from the .tv the most. He goes into how he was born, how much money a lot of these companies are making. I agree, not good. If you're only getting they signed the original deal, which I am going to. All right, so here's an article. 2002, Margaret Kane. As most people should probably start doing, I should also start doing myself, which I'm going to start working on more, rather than cite the actual website that an article is from, like whatever the Washington Post, Verge. The reason I'm saying that is because I have articles from them later on in the episode, or zdnet.com. We should start talking about the people who actually write the articles rather than the companies that allow that to happen. So you have VeriSign will take over the control. This is 2002. VeriSign will take over the .tv web domain by buying the .tv Corp International for $45 million cash, the company announced Monday. VeriSign operates a registry of internet addresses that end with the suffix .com, .net, and .org. These motherfuckers are the ones who run every .com, .net, and .org. They own it. These humans are the ones who run a very, 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 very large amount of the internet running throughout the United States. The .com, .net, .org suffixes are the webs are known as top-level domains. The Internet Corporation of assign names and numbers, ICANN, always known, recently added 7 new suffixes: .museum, .biz, .info, .arrow, .name, .corp, .coop, co-op, and .pro. That doesn't matter. This is from 2002. This stuff has been in play for a while. Each country has its own top-level domain. .us for the United States, for example. The .tv domain, actually the country code for a South Pacific island nation of Tuvalu. Tuvalu licensed the domain .tv corp to .tv corp in 2000 for $50 million, using part of the money to join the United Nations. So not only has this very, very, very small company that Twitch basically runs on the back of, owned by Amazon, Jeff Bezos, don't need to go down that rabbit hole, almost just did it on my own. That nation joined the United Nations from money it got based off of its .tv domain. This is just... The ends of domains are the new gold rush nowadays, and this one company, VeriSign, owns .com, .net, and .org. If you're listening to this, you didn't see my facial expression right there, but come on. This same company rents the .tv address, or is leasing it from Tuvalu, and the contract ends in months from recording this. So in months, we will I think they should do, personally, they should do a they should do a contest, some sort of bidding war where they're allowed to get a shitload of money for this, because the amount of money that is being created off the .tv domains is ridiculous, and they signed a deal in 2000 for only $50 million. Obviously, back in the day, it wasn't that much of a difference, but and also in 2020, also in 2002, separately, VeriSign announced it would pay a $340 million in stock to acquire HO Systems, which is a billing and customer management software for wireless carriers. So not only is VeriSign, the people who own .com, .net, and .org, those people also now are, in 2002, own a billing and customer management software for wireless carriers. So I don't know. My stupid rabbit holes. There we go. So, holy shit. I didn't even remember this part of the fucking article. Here we go. VeriSign said it would combine HO's Speed Suite products with its products offered by its Illuminant subsidiary, so a company that VeriSign also owns, operates an independent carrier-to-carrier switching network that allows carriers to route landline and wireless calls and offer caller ID, roaming, and other services. VeriSign acquired Illuminant for $1.2 billion in 2001. So now I see why I pushed this to the back of my brain, so I just would not ever go down this rabbit hole. But VeriSign basically knows everyone. They are the ones who route landline to wireless calls. In 2001, it obviously meant a lot more than nowadays, but that's still the caller ID, roaming, and other services. And obviously, they wouldn't buy this company if it wasn't worth that much money for $1.2 billion in 2001. 2001, god damn. Basically, I don't know. I just think it's cool that there's this little teeny country in the middle of the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, that is getting paid millions of dollars for .tv. Like, who cares? At a certain point, I don't even know if this country should even attempt to go into a bidding war, because at a certain point, why not just stay with VeriSign and just use Twitch.com? Why do you need Twitch.tv? Obviously, television, it's kind of fathered in, but at a certain point, what's the difference? The Twitch app, I don't know the statistics, but I'm sure no one's going to care if it's .com rather than .tv. Most people hopefully listening to this probably also not going to give a shit. If you really give that much of a shit, just go into your bookmarks and change it to .com. Oh my god, I think that I just think they're running on thin ice, if I'm being honest. I don't know if you really, really, really want to get into a bidding war regarding it. I'm sure you can probably get more money, but or even the fact that there still just hasn't been a contract renewed. And theoretically, if no contract is met on New Year's 2022, Twitch will not have .tv at the end of it. It will be something else. Who knows what's going to happen, but if a contract is not signed with the company that's 20% owned by Tuvalu, they're just not going to have .tv anymore. I have no idea how long I've been recording already. All right, 20 minutes. Probably going to make this a decently short episode. I honestly don't really fucking care.